Well, today is President's Day, a time to honor America's commanders-in-chief. If you're planning to run errands, though, you'll want to know what's open and what's closed. We'll have that information coming up.
And Texas Rangers are investigating an officer-involved shooting in Freer. We have the latest on what happened.
If you have outstanding warrants or unpaid fines, Corpus Christi's amnesty period starts today. We have what you need to know to make sure you don't end up behind bars. Chris 6 Sunrise starts now.
Well, hey there, folks. Good Monday morning. You are watching Chris 6 Sunrise, waking up with the Hoffmans today. I'm Brian Hoffman.
And I'm Michelle Hoffman. Folks, we hope you had a wonderful weekend filled with love. It's time to get back to reality, though, right? Let's check in with meteorologist Stephen Jones to see how our weather and roads are shaping up today. And I know we got some rain over the weekend, Stephen.
Absolutely. No, that was wonderfully needed rain. Not everybody picked up all that we needed. There were some reports of 0.05 of an inch, but there were some reports over 0.75 of an inch. So definitely a decent drink of that rain across the coastal bend, but we still need some more. And I've got high hopes for the rest of 2026. But starting off with our Monday morning, here's a live view from Snoopy Skycam thanks to Matthews CCAC. 59 degrees is what we're down to right now, and that traffic flowing nice and smooth along the causeway. That's the story for most of our roadways out there, including SPID, not tracking any of those major slowdowns, but we are tracking just a little bit of fog trying to work into the area. Right now over by the Naval Air Station, reporting about a half mile of visibility, so want to take some caution if you're on the roadways over there. As we're waking up, though, a good variation of temperatures, closer to those 60s along the coast, about 63 in Port Aransas. Alice waking up to about 50 degrees this morning, but all of us going to be on the warm-up as we go through the rest of our Monday, even towards that 80-degree mark for some of those daytime highs. And in terms of that traffic flow right now, not really tracking any of those slowdowns like I talked about there on the Harbor Bridge. Nice and green traffic to and from Portland, and including our major roadways here in Corpus Christi, not tracking any slowdowns, so looking like a good and green Monday morning.
Stephen, thank you so much. Folks, we'll get to your neighborhood news in just a bit, but first, a look at some national headlines. Today is President's Day, a time to honor America's previous commander-in-chiefs. The holiday was originally established in 1879, on February 22nd, which is George Washington's birthday, but it was moved to the third Monday in February in 1971. The federal holiday means that post offices, banks, the stock market, and most schools are closed. And folks, the city of Corpus Christi has announced several schedule changes today for the holiday too. All essential services such as police, fire, and the airport will operate as normal. However, other city operations like the utilities billing office, libraries, municipal court, and all recreation centers will be closed. For the full list of businesses closed, you can head to our website, christv.com.
Well, the Department of Homeland Security is experiencing a partial shutdown after Congress failed to reach a funding deal by Friday's deadline. Now, most DHS workers will remain employed but won't get paychecks until funding is restored. DHS is the last federal agency that needs funding for the rest of the 2026 fiscal year, which runs through September. The public will probably not really notice this partial shutdown, though. All other parts of the government do remain open, including the IRS and national parks. Again, staying open. Scripps News Group's Joe St. George will join us at 6:12 with the very latest from Washington.
The Department of Justice has sent Congress a list of politically exposed persons from millions of files related to its Jeffrey Epstein probes. The DOJ sent the list in a 6-page letter on Saturday. The names of many prominent figures appear in the files, including presidents, cultural icons, business leaders, and government officials.
So back here at home, now is the time to take care of any outstanding warrants or unpaid fines you may have. The city of Corpus Christi, their 2-week amnesty period kicks off today and runs through the 28th. It applies to traffic citations, code enforcement violations, and Class C misdemeanor warrants issued by the city. To avoid arrest, you can visit municipal courts to set up a payment plan. Court hours are Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. You can also pay any citations online or by the phone.
Texas Rangers are investigating an officer-involved shooting that happened Saturday morning in Freer. According to Freer police, it started around 5 Saturday morning when Freer and Falfurrias police were on Oak Street for a narcotics investigation. During the investigation, the suspects ran.
As the officers were engaged in a foot pursuit, a third party exited the residence, unknown if he's related to this investigation at this time, brandishing a firearm at the officer. exited the residence in a ready-to-fire position with the firearm.
Police say the officer tried to take cover behind a car nearby when he saw the weapon. He then shot the suspect in the hand and he was taken to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. The individual's identity has not been released.
Well, a cyclist is dead after a crash in Port Aransas. The crash happened just after 7 p.m. Friday on 361 near Howard Boulevard. According to South Jetty and the Port Aransas Police Department, the Ford truck had stopped at a stop sign before then advancing and striking the cyclist, who was then thrown onto the highway and struck by a Nissan SUV. The 68-year-old cyclist was pronounced dead at the scene. The investigation is ongoing. No word yet on if any charges will be filed.
So early voting for the March primary starts tomorrow. And if you plan on voting early, here are the exact dates you need to know. Early voting runs through Friday, February 28th. And if you want to vote by mail, be sure to apply no later than Friday, February 21st. And don't forget, folks, Election Day is Tuesday, March 4th. For all of your election information, you can head on over to the 2026 election section on our website, kristv.com.
Well, hey there, and good Monday morning, Coastal Bend. I'm meteorologist Stephen Jones. Taking a live view from our USS Lexington cam now, thanks to First Community Bank. We've got the new Harbor Bridge and the aquarium both nice and lit up for our Monday morning. Temperatures fairly chilly out there, though. 49 degrees is what we're down to over at Corpus Christi International Airport. Those winds pretty light at 3 miles an hour, of course, allowing for some more of that extra radiational cooling to take effect, but also seeing just a little bit of development of that fog out there. The Naval Air Station reading about a mile of visibility. Kingsville reading about 4 miles of visibility, so might want to take your time on the roadways this morning, especially if you run into some of that fog. In terms of our temperatures, pretty decent variation across the entire area. 63 what you're waking up to in Port Aransas, 62 there in Rockport, but as we work our way inland, pretty significantly cooler, closer to that 50-degree mark. 50 is what you're at in San Diego, 49 for Alice. The cool spot going to be Hebronville, coming in around 48 degrees this Monday morning. Through the rest of the day, though, all of us are going to see that sunshine come back out, pushing into the lower 80s for some of our feels-like temperatures in terms of the afternoon, and in terms of that daytime high, chasing about 80 degrees for us here in Corpus Christi. Really just going to be those mostly sunny skies today, and as we roll into tonight, going to see those mostly clear skies remain with us. That helps us get back down into the upper 50s for a little bit, but for the most part, we're definitely on the warm-up in terms of those overnight lows and in terms of the daytime highs. Tomorrow, not too bad, only about 81 degrees. We're going to notice a more significant breeze out of the southeast, maybe even upwards of 30 miles an hour, but for today it's a little calmer, at least closer to 20 to 25 miles an hour, and really the peak of it is going to be closer to dinner time as we head through about 5 to 6 p.m. this evening. As we go through tonight, not too bad, and then like I talked about going into tomorrow, that's where we see them pick up quite a bit towards 30 miles an hour for some of those max winds. Still not going to be the crazy 40 mile an hour range, but still going to notice the breeziness out there. As we roll into Wednesday and Thursday, luckily comes back down closer to that 10 to 20 mile an hour range for us. In terms of our future tracker, not going to be seeing too much rain today, unfortunately. Just a few clouds in the sky and plenty of sunshine for us. A lot of 80s as you work your way inland closer to the coast, a little bit more mitigated in those 70s close to the water there. As we go into tonight, lots of those upper 50s make their return, but luckily not expecting any more of those 40s, so might be able to put the jacket away as we go through the rest of this third week of February now. For our forecast fire danger, though, we're holding on to low and moderate danger today. With that wind that comes in tomorrow, it picks up quite a bit also. We see some high fire danger make its return to the coastal bend and hold on to quite a bit of that moderate fire danger as we're rolling into Wednesday. So we've got a lot of that drought ongoing right now. Just want to be mindful if you're working with any sparks as we're starting off this week, because we do have that fire danger around and everything is pretty dry still out there, even with the rain we got this past weekend. For our 7-day forecast, we're going to be warming up pretty much a little bit each day. 86 by Thursday, 87 as we head into Friday. Then that next cold front looks to work in and push us back into the 70s as we head into Sunday.
Well, the Department of Homeland Security faces a partial shutdown. Coming up on Sunrise, Scripps News Group's Joe St. George breaks down what it means for you.
Welcome back, folks. The Department of Homeland Security is experiencing a partial shutdown after Congress failed to reach a funding deal by Friday's deadline. Most DHS workers will remain employed but won't get paychecks until funding is restored.
Yeah, that's right. To talk more about this, we bring in our Deputy Political Director, Mr. Joe St. George. Hey, good morning, Joe. So this feels like deja vu, but what makes this shutdown different from previous government shutdowns, and what are the potential economic impacts?
Yeah, good morning, guys. Here we are, right? I mean, this is now the third time we've talked about a shutdown or a version of a shutdown since the fall. I mean, in the fall, we had a full government shutdown, longest shutdown in American history. There was an $11 billion economic impact there, but the whole government was shut down then. Just a few weeks ago, we had a partial government shutdown, little impact on the economy because it was only impacted a few days. And now we have a different shutdown, but this one could last a while as well. We're talking about a shutdown of the third largest cabinet agency in the federal government, the Department of Homeland Security. Yes, immigration enforcement's part of this, but so is TSA, so is FEMA, so is the Coast Guard and other divisions of the federal government. FEMA often gets talked about as well. The good news is that a lot of these employees of these governments, of these divisions of the Department of Homeland Security, they're already funded or not going to miss a paycheck for several weeks. So for instance, ICE, Immigration Enforcement. That's going to continue during the shutdown because it was funded during the president's One Big Beautiful Bill. FEMA, Disaster Relief Fund. Now, employees are still expected to go to work without the guarantee that that next paycheck will come on time. But the Disaster Relief Fund has billions of dollars in it. TSA, their first full missed paycheck will be sometime in mid-March. So that's when we look for possible delays at airports, perhaps increasing dramatically. Guys, I wouldn't be surprised if this shutdown goes on a while. For one, logistically, Congress isn't in Washington this week. Now, they can always be called back should leaders strike a deal, but the fact they're not here suggests that this could go on a bit. There doesn't seem to be as much of a rush to resolve this. There is something, though, happening a week from tomorrow that may be a reason for the White House to give in a bit, or potentially for Democrats to dig in on their side and not give in, and that's the State of the Union. The President's State of the Union's next week. There's a chance that it could happen while the Department of Homeland Security is shut down. Maybe the White House tries to make a deal to avoid it overshadowing that event. Maybe Democrats dig in and not make a deal in order to try and overshadow the President's big night in prime time. It is politics, 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 after all, here in 2026. So the Department of Homeland Security is shut down, 260,000 or so employees impacted. Guys, now we wait to see how long this will go on. And like I said at the top, I wouldn't be surprised if this goes on a while.
Well, Joe, thank you so much for the information today.
Yeah, appreciate you keeping up to date on it. We'll talk to you again very soon.
Well, hey there, and happy Monday. Coastal Bend taking a live view from our USS Lexington cam thanks to First Community Bank. We're down to about 49 degrees here in Corpus Christi. Some pretty calm winds out of the northwest, about 3 miles an hour right now. And we've got the aquarium and the New Harbor Bridge both nice and lit up for our Monday morning. Pretty clear skies overhead right now. And as we take a look back from just a couple days ago, this was the sunset there on Saturday over by Cole Park. Thank you to John Miller. This was a wonderful sunset. Actually, I think it was back on Friday, but still, either way, a wonderful photo. And if you ever get any good shots like this, that sunset or the sunrises, maybe even some good storm photos like what we saw this weekend, go and submit them to our Coastal Bend Weather Watchers group. We would absolutely love to see them. Might even find yours featured on one of our broadcasts. In terms of our current visibility as you're getting ready to head out the door, the Naval Air Station reading some of that reduced visibility closer to Flower Bluff, about 3 miles right now, reading about 4 miles of visibility in Kingsville, so not quite as severe as what we saw last week, and temperature-wise, even a bigger variation out there. 49 degrees, the pretty popular number in San Diego, Alice, Robstown, and here in town. Off to the south, though, that's going to be the cool spot as you work your way into Falfurrias, coming in at 46 degrees, and Port Aransas, our warm spot along the coast, coming in at 63 degrees. Now, as we go through the rest of the day, let's take a look at our Magic 8 Monday forecast now. By 8 a.m., we're on the warm-up, 56 degrees, so still pretty chilly out there, definitely jacket-worthy, but quickly warming up into those 70s, it looks like, as we head in towards that noon afternoon hour. Let's ask it about that daytime high. Yeah, looking like we're going to see the upper 70s, if not even 80 degrees, make its return as we're heading into this afternoon and evening. That's going to be helped out by the winds turning back out of the southeast. They pick up a little bit in speed as we go through this afternoon and evening, closer to 15 to even upwards of 25 miles an hour. So not overly breezy, but we will notice it looks like as we head into tomorrow. Expecting some of those breezes to top out around 30 miles an hour as we go into tomorrow, so you'll definitely notice it on the roadways. Luckily by Wednesday into Thursday, closer to that 10 to maybe even upwards of 20 mile an hour mark, so back down to around average. But when we consider those winds coming in tomorrow and just the ongoing drought that we still have, we've got some fire danger to worry about. Today, low to moderate fire danger, so still want to be mindful of it, but as we go into tomorrow with those stronger winds, sees that high fire danger return to the coastal bend, especially some inland portions closer to Mathis and Tilden and down to the south closer to Falfurrias, and we hold on to a lot of this moderate fire danger as we go into the middle of our week, so just want to be mindful of this as we're starting off this third week of February with just the ongoing drought and how dry everything is out there right now. For our 7-day forecast, we're warming up pretty much each day throughout this week. 84 degrees as we head into Wednesday, potentially even upwards of those upper 80s, and some models want to put us closer to 90 by Friday. I've still got about 87 degrees on the board. Then that cold front works in either way, cooling us off to the 70s as we head into Sunday.
Wondering where the cheapest price of gas is around town? Don't worry, folks. I've got you covered in this week's Gas Tracker. Welcome back, folks. All right, so as you know, each and every week, twice a week, I track those gas prices for you, making sure your car and your wallet goes a little bit further. A couple little change-ups this week, though. Let's start off with the look at the averages, though. According to GasBuddy, $2.86 for the national average. That is a drop by 9 cents since Friday. As the Lone Star State, $2.47, down by 5 cents. And then here in Corpus Christi, $2.53. That's a 12-cent drop since Friday. As for the cheapest price here in Corpus Christi proper, $2.35 at the Sunoco on 3rd Street. That's like the third time in a row that it's been the cheapest price. Good on them. As for our Portland Friends, cheapest price as we'll find is $2.48 at the Murphy USA next to the Walmart. Watch out for a similar price over at the Texan, though. They like to mimic these prices. And if you're out there on the island, it looks like the cheapest price is $2.63. I know, a little bit more, but that's over at the Valero near Whitecap. If you can find cheaper prices out there, especially because they can fluctuate during the day, you might want to stop and fill up while you can. I have all these prices posted on our website. That's christv.com.
Well, hey there, and good Monday morning. Coastal Bend taking a live look from our USS Lexington cam thanks to First Community Bank. 49 degrees is what we're down to here in Corpus Christi. Traffic flowing nice and smooth there along the new Harbor Bridge, and same goes for SPID. Just a few more cars on that roadway. In terms of our visibilities, there's a couple of patches of fog out there, mainly closer to Kingsville and the Naval Air Station, reading some of those reduced visibilities, but for the most part, not quite what we saw last week. Definitely jacket worthy as we wake up to the 50s and 60s this morning, but we're all going to be warm, or we're on the warm up, I should say, as we go into the afternoon, chasing 79, if not 80 degrees for that daytime high later this afternoon. In terms of our traffic flow, not tracking any of those major slowdowns right now, especially on the Harbor Bridge. Just a minor one there on 361 between Gregory and Ingleside. And as we work into our major roadways here in Corpus Christi, both SPID there, Ocean Drive, and Saratoga all coming in the clear, getting some reports of a car fire closer to Carson Street and Ennis Jocelyn, so we want to be mindful of that. Even some reports that it's closed in both directions, so we're seeing a minor slowdown right now. Something to be mindful of as we're heading out this Monday morning. Other than that, looking pretty good in green. Just bring the jacket along for those chilly 50s.
This morning on the third hour of Today, all the highlights live from the Milan Cortina Olympics. Plus, Descendants star Dove Cameron shares her new thriller, and celebrity makeup artist Patrick Ta shows us the hottest new makeup trends. That's all this morning on the third hour of Today.
Well, good Monday morning there, Coastal Bend. I'm meteorologist Stephen Jones. Taking a live view from our studio sky cam, you can see the new Harbor Bridge and downtown in view. Some glimpses of the sunrise getting ready to make its return in about 30 to 40 more minutes, but either way, definitely jacket worthy outside. We're about down to 49 degrees here in Corpus Christi, at least over closer to the International Airport. We're also seeing some of those patches of fog trying to set up this morning, mainly closer to the Naval Air Station, pushing into the south side and areas towards Kingsville. Just some slightly reduced visibilities out there. Maybe something to be mindful of as we're heading out for that morning commute. But temperature-wise, most of us waking up to those 40s and 50s, seeing some 60s as you work your way closer to the coast. Coming in there at Port Aransas, 62 degrees, and matching that as you're waking up in Rockport this morning. 48's what you're down to in Beeville, with our official cool spot going to be Falfurrias off to the south, coming in about 46 degrees this Monday morning. As we're taking a closer look with our Chris 6 neighborhood weather network now, starting off on the south side, looking at 54 degrees there on Pebble Beach Drive and Garden Court, 55 what you're waking up to on Wind Willow Drive this morning. A little bit further inland, closer to Beeville, about 47 degrees from our official Beeville reporting station. Hilltop Road sitting at about 51 degrees. So like I've been saying though, definitely jacket worthy as we're heading out this morning. For our dog walking forecast today, we've got Koa Taylor on the board, ready for his walk over on the Port Aransas Beach, and those temperatures are going to warm up nicely as we're going through the morning. 68 by 10 a.m., 72 by 11 a.m., and into the early afternoon, chasing 76 degrees by 1, and even into those upper 70s, if not 80 degrees for that daytime high here in Corpus Christi, thanks to all of the sunshine overhead. And those clear skies overhead get us back down into the upper 50s for overnight lows. Not expecting those 40s similar to what we're seeing this morning, because we should have those winds back out of the southeast and the moisture starting to increase out there. So the patches of fog we're seeing this morning likely to increase as we're heading into tomorrow. But as we head into tomorrow afternoon, those mostly sunny skies return, and we're going to be chasing 81 degrees. One difference we will note as we head into tomorrow is going to be those winds. For today, we're going to be closer to that 15 to 20 mile an hour mark, with the peaks of them coming in closer to 4 to 6 p.m. around that dinner time frame. But as we go into tomorrow, likely to see them pick up closer to that 30 mile an hour mark at times. The good news is going to be after we get through tomorrow, Wednesday into Thursday, it comes back down closer to the average 10 to 20 mile an hour range we're used to. Whenever we're taking into account this wind and just the ongoing drought that we've been dealing with recently, we're going to have that low to moderate fire danger today, but as it increases tomorrow, the fire danger is also going to increase tomorrow. We're going to see that high fire danger return to the coastal bend and hold on to a lot of that moderate fire danger even as we go into the middle of the week on Wednesday. So something to be mindful of as we're starting off this third week of February now. Here's where we're looking in the upper levels. We're sitting with this upper level ridge right now, but I'm looking towards the blues in the west coast. That's going to work into the central United States and the Lone Star State as we work in towards that Saturday time frame. That's where we're watching for that next cold front to work back into the area and finally see those daytime highs come back into the blue below average. But yeah, it's going to be brief as we head into next week, it looks like right now. Either way, check back for forecast updates as we head through the week ahead. It's likely to change in terms of strength and that timing for that cold front. We're warming up throughout the week ahead. 86 by Thursday, 87 by Friday. Finally, that cold front works in, putting us back into the 70s, it looks like, as we head into Sunday.
As we celebrate Black History Month, this quiet neighborhood in Alice holds a powerful reminder of the past that most people don't even know. I'm Melissa Trevino, sharing the history behind George Washington Carver Elementary. Melissa Trevino, your neighborhood news reporter in Alice. This concrete slab behind me may not look like much, but decades ago, this was the site of the George Washington Carver Elementary School during a time of segregation. It's where Black students got their education. Lonnie Ruth Farrell's early years began at George Washington Carver Elementary here on Ensenada Street. It opened in 1949 to serve Black students during segregation.
There was a norm. We knew that.
All that's left of her school are the foundation and two monuments honoring those who attended.
Carver was the school that we had to go to. So, yes, there's a school. It's just right down the block from me. But I never thought anything about going there.
For Farrell and many others, those classrooms represented hope during a time of judgment.
Was there ever a mention of the color of your skin and what was going on outside of the school?
Not really. I mean, we basically knew, so it wasn't anything that we had to discuss.
In 1956, Farrell graduated uncertain of acceptance at Alice ISD.
I did not know how I was going to be accepted. Surprisingly, there were a few that, just sort of gravitated to me once I got there. and sort of, I'll say, took me by the hand.
Despite those hardships, education was her focus, inspiring others like Aaron Bonds.
I enjoyed going to school. You know, you go there to learn, and that was my key. I would tell them is that be proud that you had an opportunity to go to a black school. So many kids don't have that opportunity. You be the best that you can.
Before integration, students traveled miles to attend high school in Kingsville, overcoming obstacles for a chance at education.
There was one lady that bused the children, and she had a station wagon. So everybody had to get in that station wagon and, you know, and get over there, and then she'd have to go back and pick them up and then come back. And that would have been a big inconvenience.
Today, their memories remind us of resilience and the fight for equal education. Lonnie Ruth Farrell tells me while the building is gone, the history built on this foundation remains. In Alice, I'm Melissa Trevino, your neighborhood news reporter, KRES 6 News.
Well, hey there and happy Monday. Coastal Bend taking a live view from our USS Lexington cam thanks to First Community Bank. We've got the aquarium and the new Harbor Bridge in view, both nice and lit up for our Monday morning, but definitely jacket worthy, coming in at 49 degrees over from the airport. So cooling off pretty quick for some of our inland communities, but still holding on to some of that heat along the coast. Port Aransas coming in at 62 degrees. You're also waking up to 62 degrees in Rockport this morning with our official cool spot coming in off towards the south. Falfurrias at a chilly 46 degrees, I should say. 49 for Alice, San Diego, and even up to the north in George West this morning. As we're looking at that fog out there, luckily not quite as severe as what we saw last week, but seeing some of those reduced visibilities into areas like the Flower Bluff area and over towards Kingsville, so want to be mindful of that as we're heading out for our morning commute. Through the rest of the day, we're likely going to see that sunshine return pretty much entirely to our skies through the morning hours. Just a few clouds as we go through the afternoon, but either way, our daytime highs chasing about 80 this afternoon by 3 to 4 p.m. And we're also going to notice those winds out of the southeast. That's about 10 to 15 miles an hour though, so nothing too crazy as we go into today. Through the rest of the week, we're going to notice those temperatures climbing pretty much each day through Friday. Then we're finally going to get a cold front into the region as we head into this weekend. Puts us back below average, it looks like, as we head into Monday of next week for that final week of February, but still going to be a brief one as we warm up pretty quickly after it. Either way, hopefully we start to get some more rain out of it. I'll break down all of our precipitation chances and that full 7-day forecast coming up.
Well, today is President's Day, a time to honor America's commanders-in-chiefs. And if you're planning on running any errands, though, you'll want to know what's open and what's closed. We have that info for you coming up.
Plus, the latest on an officer-involved shooting in Freer and what police are saying about the investigation.
And if you've got any outstanding warrants or unpaid fines, well, Corpus Christi's amnesty period starts up today. We have what you need to know to make sure you don't end up behind bars.
Now, 20 minutes of nonstop news, sponsored by Ewald Kubota.
Well, hey, folks, thank you so much for joining us for our 20 minutes of nonstop news with the Hoffmans. I'm Brian Hoffman.
And I'm Michelle Hoffman. Folks, you just saw we have plenty of neighborhood news for you this Monday morning. But first, we got to check in with meteorologist Stephen Jones to see how the roadways and weather are looking today. Hey, good morning.
Morning.
Well, good morning, you guys. You know, it is looking like a pretty nice day. It's definitely jacket worthy this morning. A little chilly out there, but I think it's shaping up for a great afternoon. We're going to have plenty of sunshine as we're going through the rest of our day. Here's a live look to start our morning from the USS Lexington cam, thanks to First Community Bank. 49 degrees is what we're down to, and cars flowing nice and freely right now, it looks like, across the new Harbor Bridge. Same goes for SPID, not tracking any of those major slowdowns, but there's just a couple of patches of fog trying to work in this morning, mainly towards Kingsville, reading under 2 miles of visibility, so not quite as severe as what we saw last week, but still something to be mindful of as you're heading out for that morning commute, and maybe take the jacket along as we're waking up to those 50s for most of us this morning. Through the rest of the day, though, that sunshine comes back out and we chase 80 degrees for the daytime high. Winds out of the southeast about 10 to 15 miles an hour, so here's a look at that traffic flow. Nice and green this morning. Right now, just a minor slowdown there on 361 between Gregory and Ingleside. For our major roadways here in Corpus Christi, not too bad. I'm getting some reports of some closures on Ennis Jocelyn as you get closer to Ocean Drive, so something to be mindful of, but other than that, looking like a good and green Monday morning.
Thank you so much, Stephen. Appreciate you. So we're going to get back to you in just a little bit, as well as some neighborhood news. But first, today is President's Day. It's a time to honor America's previous commander-in-chiefs. The holiday was originally established in 1879 on February 22nd, which is George Washington's birthday. But it was later moved to the third Monday, I should say, in February in 1971. The federal holiday means that post offices, banks, and the stock market and most schools are closed today. Well, the city of Corpus Christi has also announced several scheduled changes for the holiday. All essential services such as police, fire, and the airport, those of course are going to remain operational as normal. However, other city operations like the utilities billing office, libraries, municipal courts, and all rec centers are going to be closed.
If you have any outstanding warrants or unpaid fines, now is the time to take care of them. The City of Corpus Christi's 2-week amnesty period kicks off today and runs through the 28th. It applies to traffic citations, code enforcement violations, and Class C misdemeanor warrants issued by the city. To avoid arrest, you can visit municipal court to set up a payment plan, and court hours are Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. You could also pay citations online or by the phone.
So early voting for the March primary starts tomorrow. If you plan on voting early, here are your dates. Early voting runs through Friday, February 27th. If you want to vote by mail, be sure to apply no later than Friday, February 21st. And don't forget, folks, Election Day is Tuesday, March 3rd. For all your election information, head on over to the 2026 election section. That's on our website, KrisTV.com.
Texas Rangers are investigating an officer-involved shooting that happened Saturday morning in Freer. According to Freer police, it started around 5 Saturday morning when Freer and Falfurrias police were on Oak Street for a narcotics investigation. During the investigation, the suspects ran.
As the officers were engaged in a foot pursuit, a third party exited the residence. Unknown if he's related to this investigation at this time, brandishing a firearm at the officer, exited the residence in a ready-to-fire position with the firearm.
The officer tried to take cover behind a car nearby when he saw the weapon. He then shot the suspect in the hands, according to police. He was taken to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries, and the individual's identity has not been released.
Well, a cyclist is dead after a crash in Port Aransas. The crash happened just after 7 p.m. Friday on 361 near Howard Boulevard. According to South Jetty and Port Aransas Police Department, the Ford truck had stopped at a stop sign before then advancing and striking the cyclist, who was then thrown onto the highway and struck by a Nissan SUV. The 68-year-old cyclist was pronounced dead at the scene. Investigation is ongoing and no word yet on if any charges will be filed.
We have a couple of closures happening this week that we want to tell you about. Starting at noon on Tuesday and continuing through Wednesday, a section of Port Avenue will be closed, and this is for overhead demolition operations related to the ongoing Harbor Bridge project. This stretch will be between Tonquist Street and Mesquite Street. And there will also be a closure over on I-37. This will start on Friday the 20th and last until Sunday at 9 p.m., and this will go from Staple Street to North Chaparral Street and is for the removal of overhead bridge spans. For more information, head to our website, KrisTV.com.
Well, hey there and happy Monday. Coastal Bend taking a live view from our studio. Skycam, just a gorgeous sunrise getting ready to set up the new Harbor Bridge and downtown, of course, in view. But we're still pretty chilly out there so far, about 49 degrees here in Corpus Christi. Probably want to take the jacket along with you as we're heading out this morning. And just a couple of days ago, taking a look back at the sunset over there from Cole Park. Thank you to John Miller for this photo. If you ever get any good sunrises like the one we have coming up right now, take a good quick screenshot of it or a snapshot of it and send it into our Coastal Bend Weather Watchers group. We'd absolutely love to see it and might even find yours featured on one of our broadcasts. For our visibility out there right now in terms of the fog, starting to see some of that fog develop, especially over towards the Naval Air Station. Visibility down to about a mile right now. Kingsville reading about 3 miles of visibility, so something to be mindful of as we're heading out this morning. Luckily not quite as bad as what we saw last week though. Temperatures across the board in the 40s, 50s, and just a couple of 60s closer to the coast. Rockport and Port Aransas both waking up to about 62 degrees, 50 for you there in Kingsville, and Alice and George West both waking up to a nice chilly 49 degrees this morning. But all of us are going to be on the warm up as we're heading through the rest of our Monday. That sunshine comes back out, and our daytime highs looking to push about 80, if not 81 degrees for some of our inland neighborhoods. And with winds turning back out of the southeast, those overnight lows likely only to get into those upper 50s for tonight. So in terms of those daytime highs, here's how we're shaping up on the map. You can see those upper 70s closer to the coast, more of those 80s sprinkled in as you start to work your way inland. But one of the differences we're going to notice from today into tomorrow is going to be those winds picking up. Today they turn out of the southeast, getting close to 20 miles an hour, maybe even upwards of 25 miles an hour. By tomorrow, looking to top up around that 30, if not low 30s for the miles per hour range. Then the good news is as we head into Wednesday and Thursday, calms back down closer to 10 to 20 miles an hour. But either way, as they pick up tomorrow, and considering the ongoing drought we have, things are going to pick up in terms of the fire danger. Today we're looking low to moderate in terms of the fire danger, so still want to be mindful of it. By tomorrow, we see the return of that high fire danger, and we hold on to a lot of the moderate danger even as we go into the middle of the week by the time we're heading into Wednesday. So something to be mindful of pretty much as we're heading through the entire week ahead. For that next cool down, we're going to be watching this next trough that's currently working in towards the west coast. It's slowly going to make its way into the central United States and send a good cold front our way by the time we're finally heading in towards that Saturday time frame. That's where we're looking for that next cool down, but each day this week in terms of the 7-day forecast until we get to this weekend, we are going to be slowly incrementally warming up. About 84 by Wednesday. Even some models want to put us close to 90 degrees by Friday. I've still got about 87 on the board for my forecast right now. Then that cold front works in, putting us back down into the 70s as we head into Sunday.
Now, 6 things to know before you go.
All right, to start off this list, the Department of Homeland Security is experiencing a partial shutdown after Congress failed to reach a funding deal by Friday's deadline. Most DHS workers will remain employed but won't get paychecks until funding is restored. DHS is the last federal agency that needs funding for the rest of the 2026 fiscal year, which runs through September. The public will probably not really notice this partial shutdown, though. All other parts of the federal government, including the IRS and national parks, are staying open.
Secretary of State Marco Rubio is expected to conclude his trip to Europe today and return to the U.S. Rubio attended the Munich Security conference where he offered a reassuring message to America's allies. Rubio struck a less aggressive but still firm tone about the Trump administration's plan to reshape the transatlantic alliance. He said the United States would remain forever tied to Europe, but made clear the Trump administration is sticking to its guns-on policy.
Well, President Trump says that the newly formed Board of Peace will unveil a multi-billion-dollar humanitarian and reconstruction package for Gaza. The group will hold its inaugural meeting in Washington on Thursday. In Sunday's announcement, Trump said that states have pledged more than $5 billion towards the Gazan humanitarian and reconstruction efforts. He also said that members have committed thousands of personnel to maintain security and peace there.
The Department of Justice has sent Congress a list of politically exposed persons from millions of files related to its Jeffrey Epstein probes. The DOJ sent the list in a 6-page letter on Saturday. The names of many prominent figures appear in the files, including presidents, cultural icons, business leaders, and government officials.
The search for Nancy Guthrie has now reached day 15, with investigators continuing to pursue leads. Sources have confirmed that a glove containing DNA evidence was recovered roughly 2 miles from Guthrie's home. The glove appears consistent with one worn by a person seen in doorbell cam video the morning the 84-year-old disappeared. Sunday evening, Savannah Guthrie released a new video pleading for the person who took her mother to come forward.
So because today is President's Day, that means U.S. residents can go to national parks for free. Not only that, it's the official kickoff for the Park Service's entrance fee free days, rather. There are 10 days this year where you can go get to any national park for free, and they're mostly on federal holidays, but also include days like Constitution Day and Theodore Roosevelt's birthday. But you don't have to be a citizen to get in free. You do have to be a U.S. resident, though. Also, only entrance fees are waived, and you still have to pay to camp or make reservations.
So we've got a couple of recalls to tell you about this morning. Ambrosia Brands is recalling certain lots of its Rosabella Morninga capsules. that product due to possible salmonella contamination. The recalled product was sold to consumers across the U.S. on the Try Rosabella website and through the TikTok shop. To date, there have been 7 illnesses resulting in 3 hospitalizations due to salmonella contamination. Ambrosia Brands is urging customers to reach out to the company if they have any questions about the recall. Well, Initiative Foods has recalled its Tippy Toes apple, pear, banana baby food due to elevated levels of patulin rather. Now that's a naturally occurring substance produced by molds that can grow in fruits. The FDA says that long-term exposure can lead to nerve damage and immune suppression. No illnesses have been reported though. The baby food was distributed nationwide except in Alaska and has been a best buy date of July 17th of 2026.
Now to the Olympics, where the U.S. medal momentum has slowed, but there are still opportunities. Mark Barger joins us from Milan with a wrap-up of Sunday's action.
Greetings from Milan. It was a Sunday without any medals for Team USA, but some groundwork was laid, possibly for some more hardware down the line.
Get by those stones.
We start with women's curling, where the U.S. rallied to beat China 6-5. They scored big shots in the final end and an extra end to move to 4-1 on the tournament.
I'm just so proud of the girls for sticking with it. That we're a gritty team. We're never out of it. So just really proud of this one.
Men's curling also proud of an 8-5 victory over the defending gold medalist from Sweden. The youngest team in the event improves to 3-2 in the tournament. In the women's giant slalom, Federica Brignone added to Italy's medal count by winning her second gold of the games. Michaela Schifrin did not medal. She finished 11th, but her clean runs may boost her confidence for her best event, the slalom, on Wednesday. Austin Matthews scored twice for the U.S. men's hockey team. They were 5-1 winners over Germany. They move on to the quarterfinals. Mac Forehand led everyone in qualifying for freestyle skiing's Free Ski Big Air event. Troy Podmilsack and Connor Ralph also qualified for Tuesday's final. Pairs figure skating underway Sunday night with the short program. Emily Chan and Spencer Howell qualified 8th. Danny O'Shea and Ellie Kam came in 10th. The free skate is Monday. And coming up on Monday night, the semifinals in women's hockey. It'll be the U.S. against Sweden, Canada against Switzerland. In Milan, I'm Mark Barger, NBC News.
And coming up on Today, the show, Team USA figure skater Maxim Naumov will join today for a live interview from Milan. Stay tuned for that show right after sunrise. Very cool stuff. Watching the figure skating, it's something that was kind of a tradition in the Hoffman household. Like every single year we'd have that on the background, no matter what we were doing, if we were paying attention or not. Every once in a while, look on over. Do you guys remember growing up watching the Olympics at all?
Ooh, absolutely for me. I don't know about you, Michelle, but we would just turn it on pretty much either whether it was the summer or the Winter Olympics. Always got to watch the bobsledding, and the slalom has always been pretty interesting, especially that giant slalom. I'm not sure I've seen that one before.
That's cool.
I'm not super versed on it, so I don't know what the difference is between the regular and the giant, but either way, it's going to be much warmer here in Corpus Christi than over there in Milan. We are going to be pushing well above average temperatures. Some models even want to push us up towards 90 degrees. I know it's still February, but we are definitely on the warm-up as we're heading through the third week of it either way. We're starting off with a chilly Monday morning, though. Here's a live view from our studio Skycam now. We're down to about 50 degrees here in Corpus Christi, but a gorgeous sunrise in view getting ready to come up. The New Harbor Bridge and downtown there. Luckily, not too much fog this morning, but like I said, as we go through the week ahead, we are clearly going to be on the warm-up. Temperature-wise out there, we're in the 40s, 50s, and just a couple of 60s along the coast. Port Aransas, you're waking up to 62, Rockport 61 degrees, and then our cool spot is now off to the north. Beeville coming in at a chilly 46 degrees out there. As we're taking a closer look with our Chris 6 neighborhood weather network now, the south side looking at 55 degrees there on Wind Willow Drive, 54 there for Pebble Beach Drive, so not too bad, but still jacket worthy. Portland, you're looking at 54 over on Willow Drive, 59 degrees on Oakland Hills, so not too bad, but as we work a little bit more inland, like I talked about, Beeville coming in closer to those those upper 40s right now. For our dog walking forecast as we're going through the next few hours, today we've got Koa Taylor on the board. Definitely looking ready to go on his walk. Loves going over there by the Port Aransas Beach apparently, and it's not looking too bad for a beach walk today at all. That sunshine's going to return to our skies. 68 by 10 a.m., 74 as we're already heading out for that lunchtime hour, and daytime highs even going to get warmer, chasing about 80 degrees here in Corpus Christi. Maybe some of those lower 80s sprinkled in as you work your way inland, but as we go into tonight, back down into those upper 50s. Luckily not quite as cool thanks to those winds turning back out of the southeast today. Starts to get some more moisture in, so we're not going to get quite back down into those upper 40s I expect tonight, but by tomorrow we slowly warm up. 81 degrees. One bigger difference we're going to notice between today and tomorrow is those breezes picking up out of the southeast closer to even 30 miles an hour as we head into tomorrow. For our upper level pattern, we're dealing with this ridge of high pressure. That's going to help us be on the warm up pretty much every day this week, but what we're watching for is these blues off towards the west coast. That's that next trough of low pressure that slowly starts to work into the central United States throughout the week ahead, and by Saturday into Sunday starts to send another good shot of cooler air into the Lone Star State, and that's where we're looking ahead for our next cool down. So here's how our forecast high temperatures are shaping up. You can see how we incrementally increase pretty much each day this week. By Friday into Saturday is where we start to cool back down and see some below average temperatures to start off that final week of February, but it's going to be pretty brief. It looks like that return flow returns and our temperature is going to skyrocket back into those 80s as we head towards the end of February for us. So a pretty warm one as we're ending off the month. In terms of our muggy meter, we're going to be watching for those morning fog chances tomorrow as well, because we're starting to see this moisture increase across the region. By the time that cold front works back in, starts to dry us off across the coastal bend. Here's how that 7-day forecast is shaping up right now. By Friday, getting pretty warm out there, forecasting about 87 degrees here in Corpus Christi. Finally, that next cold front works in, 80 by Saturday, even the 70s by Sunday. So I'm looking pretty well ahead to this forecast. What about you guys? I just wish there was a little bit more rain on it.
Yeah, but we're going to manifest a great week ahead, because I still like those temperatures though.
Oh, absolutely, especially as we go into Sunday. I gotta say 74, that's about what I'd call a perfect temperature for a day.
Right?
I love it. Hey guys, well, thanks for tuning in on this Monday, and go out and grab this week. It's going to be your week. I can feel it. We'll see you later, guys.